Basic knowledge about credit cards for you by howtogrowcredit.com. Credit cards can be hugely frustrating for quite a few people. If you know the correct way to manage your charge cards, you can easily deal with credit cards in a hassle-free way. This video will give you a lot of suggestions that will allow you to have a good experience with a credit card experience. Never get rid of an account for a credit card prior to going over what it entails. Sometimes, closing a card can have a negative impact on your credit scoring, and this is something nobody wants. If your card has been around a while, you should probably hold on to it as it is responsible for your credit history. Do not close credit card accounts before you are aware of the impact it may have. Always check the fine print. We have all been pre-approved for one card or another, but it's important to understand all of the specifics about that card before accepting it. Know the details about interest, like the rate and dates. Additionally, you may wish to know about their fees and any applicable grace periods. You can save a lot of trouble by setting up an automatic schedule. Always track all purchases you make on any credit cards. Getting carried away with credit card spending is easy, so keep careful track each time you use it. Credit card. If you have credit cards, make sure you have a budget determined. Most people use a budget for their income, so budgeting your credit card is a great idea too. A credit card's available balance should not be considered extra money. Determine how much you can spend monthly on credit cards. Stick with this and be sure to pay it every month. A co-signer is a credit card if you have yet to establish credit. Anyone who has good credit can be a co-signer. They must be willing to pay the balance if you do not pay it. This works great for getting a first credit card that you can use for building your credit. Carefully look over your balance and statement. You also need to know how close you are to your credit limit. If you inadvertently go over your credit limit, you will either be heavily penalized or your credit card will be blocked. If you continually keep your balance over the limit, the fees will continue to add up and you will have difficulty getting your balance paid down. Always pay off credit cards on time. On top of that, the majority of credit card companies reward this behavior by raising interest rates, and this means all future transactions will cost more in the long run. It is important to be wise when it comes to credit card spending. Keep spending under control and only make credit card purchases you can actually afford to pay for. Prior to purchasing an item with your credit card, be sure that you will be able to pay the charge when your statement arrives. If you can avoid carrying a balance over from month to month, you will remain in charge of your financial health. It is normally a good idea to get a credit card right when you become old enough to have one. Although people love to spend and have bank cards, you should do some research to find out more about the credit industry before you make the commitment to a line of credit. Spend a few months just being an adult and learning what it will take to incorporate charge cards. Get into the habit of paying your credit card billing on a timely basis. You may have to pay large fees if you ignore the due date on your credit card statement. You may also have to pay more interest on future purchases if you engage in this behavior. Never leave blank spots when you make a purchase. If there is a tip line and you are not charging your gratuity, put a mark through that space to avoid someone adding an amount there. Make sure your statement matches the charges you make. If you are thinking of ordering a credit card via the mail, ensure you properly protect your personal information by having a mailbox with a lock. It is common for thieves to steal credit cards from unlocked mailboxes. To prevent this, make sure your credit cards are mailed only to secured mailboxes. Most experts agree that limits on your credit card should not exceed 75% of what your salary is every month. If you owe more than that, try to pay it off quickly. This becomes critical because of the amount of interest you pay can quickly get out of control. Never reveal your credit card account number over the phone to someone who has called you. Credit card thieves often contact people by telephone. Give your number only to trusted companies and to your credit lender when you contact them. If a random company calls you first, don't share your numbers. Regardless of who they say they are, you cannot be sure. Do not make a payment to your card right after you charge an item. This has a positive impact on your credit score. Keep contact information for credit card companies, your account number, and all other relevant data in a safe place that is easy for you to access. Put it in a secure location like a safe box at a bank, that is in a different place than your credit cards. This list will help you make quick contact with lenders if you ever misplace your credit card or if you get mugged. Keep track of the amount you spend with your monthly spending on credit cards. Remember that impulse purchases can really add up quickly. If you spend without much consideration, you could discover that you don't have the amount of money you need in order to pay off your monthly bill. To give an appearance of zero debt, many choose not to have credit cards. It's important to use one credit card, at least, in order for you to build a credit history. Use the card, then pay the balance off every month. If you have no credit at all, your credit score remains low. This will impact you in the future. Ask your credit card provider if they are willing to reduce the interest rates associated to your credit card. There are a few companies that will lower an interest rate if they know and trust the customer due to working with them for a long period of time. It can save you a lot of money and will not cost you a cent. Keep track of your credit card expenditures and post it in a highly visible location. This can serve as a reminder of your overall expenditure obvious and help you keep in mind where your money on. It is far too easy to ignore our own behavior and let our credit card spending escalate until it is out of the month. If you owe more money on your card that you could pay back, you are risking damaging your credit score. This can make it difficult to rent accommodation, get insurance or even become employed. You must really know what the end of the introductory period. Know what you're getting yourself into before you sign up. Do not lie about the amount of money that you make in order to apply for a credit card that has a much higher limit. There are some creditors that won't verify how much income you make and raise your limit regardless, which can put you in serious financial trouble if you charge beyond your means. Be absolutely sure that your child has the ability to handle credit cards before they get one. It may be difficult to say no or hard to admit your child just isn't mature enough, but you should let them know as soon as possible about responsible spending so they don't get into debt later on in life. Unless you are choosing a card that is secured, you should never be asked to pay money in advance to receive a credit card. Legitimate credit companies don't charge fees beforehand. You should never pay another person to assist you with procuring credit cards. If your credit is good, you can get a card by yourself. Credit card. Do not be afraid to pay off a credit card with another credit card, if the paying card has better fees and interest rates. Aside from interest rates, a different card might offer better rewards that you can claim later. Just don't do anything rashly. Sit yourself down and carefully add up the numbers before deciding to pay off one credit card with another one. Report a lost or stolen card to the company that maintains your credit card company. You could be responsible for any charges if a thief uses your credit card prior to you reporting it stolen or missing. Once you have reported your card as missing, you cannot be held liable for any charges that are made to that card. If you're traveling, bring along 2 credit cards. Having cards issued by different banks will ensure that you maximize your financial options. That helps in times of problems with one of the cards. If the cards are different, your access to the credit you need will be increased. Don't pay credit card bills with another. The charges that are associated with this trick simply make next month's emergency even bigger. Every credit card has a limit on how much money you can spend. Be sure to never go over the limit, and if possible, only use your cards for emergencies or when you have no other alternative purchasing method. The more money you start racking up on your cards, the higher the interest payments will be. And maxing your cards will mean that you won't have the available credit when you need it most. Only open and keep the charge cards that you will actually use. This way you can keep track of them and will know if they should go missing. Do not fall for offers that promise no interest for a limited time when you are applying for a new card. It sounds like a good deal, but the truth is that it could be costly down the line. Try not to be tempted into getting a high credit limit to go to your head. The knowledge that you can definitely tempt you. This can lead you to major financial trouble. Limit impulse buys through a system of 48 hours before purchasing large ticket items. If you have a history of managing your credit well, consider opening a cashback rewards card for purchases like gas and groceries. Use a card that offers these rewards for all of your daily needs. You can easily gain decent cashback return from normal, monthly purchases. This can be a great piggy bank for holiday spending. Always pay off these bills in full, however, because any interest rates will greatly outweigh any rewards you may earn. As previously mentioned, credit card companies can frustrate and disappoint people. However, it's much easier to pick the right card for you and have a good experience if you do the proper due diligence in advance. By using these suggestions, you can enjoy life with charge cards and avoid the headaches. Know your financial standing prior to applying for any credit cards. It's not hard to do. Just make sure you receive a copy of your credit report to check out your situation and to tie up any loose ends. If there is any incorrect information, dispute it. Also, look at negative marks that are true and see if you can correct them. Thanks for watching this video. Check out our recommended credit repair system with the link in the description. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Not only does it help us make new content for you but also tells YouTube to share this content with others. How to grow credit: steps to grow your credit score.